Welcome to the journey of an entrepreneur, where we'll explore the highs, the lows, and everything in between on the path to entrepreneurial success. I'll be your host, Ryan Batts. Join us as we dive into real-life stories, discuss parallels between business and personal growth, and tackle topics ranging from fitness, family, and just balancing it all together. Whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur or just looking for some inspiration, this podcast is your go-to guide for navigating the journey. Let's embark on this adventure together. Hello world, my name is Ryan Batts, and this is my first take at doing a podcast. My whole idea behind this podcast is pretty simple. I am an entrepreneur for 3 years now, and I kind of want to discuss and talk about the journey of how I got there, where things started, how things are going, some of the trials and tribulations that have happened along the way. And through those stories, I hope that you can relate in some way to your life, so that it can help you out, as that is my ultimate goal, is to help, to encourage, to genuinely just be that person that could be someone that can encourage you to be a little bit better and maybe push you to do things that you are holding back from doing. Through this, I guess I should start by just introducing myself, who I am, what I'm about. Grew up in North Carolina, came to the Raleigh area in 2003 to go to NC State, and I've been around the area ever since. Now we live in Apex, North Carolina with my beautiful family. I have 2 kids, wife Diana, daughter Olivia, and son Landon. Background for me, right out of college, I went to work at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, where I found that I did love working with people, and I was pretty good with sales and connecting with individuals, but I didn't get much fulfillment out of it. I was just working to earn a paycheck, and at the end of the day, I just wasn't fulfilled. So I decided to go back to school and become a teacher. And when I did this was a time in my life where I was getting married, my daughter was on the way, my wife decided to go back and change her career at the same time. So it was a very chaotic time that we decided to do this. I decided to do this, but I just knew I would be happy at the end of the day. So I went back to school, became a teacher, taught for 9 years. And we'll get in a little bit more into this, but the last 3 years of my teaching, I was also doing a side business of pressure washing on the side. So that's kind of who I am. A little bit more that you should know about me is super competitive, love to challenge myself, love to push myself to be a little bit better each day. I'm never satisfied. So I'm sure I'm going to look back at this podcast and kind of, think, man, I could have done this better, that better, and I will get better. This will be by far my worst episode. I'll find myself rambling because that's what I do sometimes and get off topic, but I'll try to stay on topic. I'll say words that don't make sense because that's how my brain works. I don't know why, but I put words into places that shouldn't be, so you can have a good laugh as I mess up. Please laugh at me. I'm all about that. I'm a pretty goofy person. I like to have fun, keep it light, but I would like to use this podcast to almost connect with whoever I can to help them out in any way that I can. I just feel like telling my journey, my story, connecting with other people will help in some way. And I put videos out on Facebook, encouraging videos, and I do get some feedback to where individuals are like, hey, that inspired me, that helped me, and it's out of the blue. So I just feel like this is another outlet that I can do that. Again, my main goal here is to somehow connect to the public and help them out in any way that I can. What you should expect from this podcast is talks like this where I'll just be by myself. I'll talk about something that went on. It might be within business. Usually it will be within the business, and I'll try to relate that to everyday life. But it might be a topic where it's just something that happened in my life, and I just want to talk about it and hope that you can relate. And I'll try to make it relatable for you so that it can help you out if you're going through that same period in your life. I will also be interviewing let me emphasize that, local business owners, entrepreneurs. I feel like that'll be a way I can connect with the community, connect with those individuals that I normally, couldn't meet on an everyday basis unless we're like in a BNI or chambers meeting, something like that. But it'll allow me to get a little more intimate, a little more deep into their story, and they can share with you, some of the trials and tribulations that they've had along the way of being an entrepreneur. Because everybody thinks I don't think everybody thinks, but a lot of people think it's the glamorous, you're your own boss, that's awesome, good for you, you don't have to answer anybody, you get back your time and can do whatever you want. But it's far from that. There's a lot of struggles, there's a lot of sleep loss, stress, a lot of burden on your family, friends, a lot of just time and effort and struggle that goes into this journey of being an entrepreneur. So I think there's a lot of really good stories that can be pulled out of this journey and related to everyday life, of like grit and determination and perseverance and overcoming and breaking barriers that really can help and encourage you along this journey that we've gone on. And also connecting to the community. I truly believe that small businesses, entrepreneurs, especially small businesses within the community, are like the lifeblood of our community and connecting. I grew up in a family that we were a small business family. We owned a local daycare. We still do. And I just got to see firsthand how we got to connect to so many people. Still to this day, hey, I went through small world and your family basically raised me. And it's just really cool to see. And it's cool for me to see how they supported so many families, not only, raising the kids, but also all the individuals that they've hired over the years. Like, they're basically family to us. We've had people working 25, 30, 35 years with them. And essentially they're family. So I really think it's cool. I've seen that along with my journey. It went from just me to having employees to, where it was kind of like I'm just taking care of myself, to now I'm actually taking care of an extended family. Like, I'm working to get business for my family, which are my employees. That's the way I look at it. So to give you just a brief background of my journey, I started 3 years ago during COVID. I was a teacher. I just stopped teaching this past January in 2024. And for at the beginning, it was simply I wanted to do something because I was bored. I'm super hyper. I'm always that person that needs to do something. Like I said earlier, competitive. So I just wanted to do something. So I decided to, actually, go back a little bit further. I was doing wrestling lessons on the side. That was like my first little stint during that time, is to try to make some money and do wrestling lessons on the side. I thought I was going to do that on the side, like do wrestling lessons. I also got my personal training certification. I thought I was going to do some personal training on the side. But then when I was training someone in wrestling, Silas, shout out to Silas, and he was doing pressure washing, and he would come in from, pressure washing a house, and I would teach him a lesson. I was charging him, I don't know, something very small. I think it was like $40 an hour for this lesson, and he would come in, he's like, yeah, I just pressure wash this house for X amount and did it in this amount of time. I was like, what? They paid you how much? So I got to give big props to Silas. He took me out and showed me, what he was doing, and it really introduced me to this world of pressure washing and what it was all about. Also, another shout out to Neil Eichhorn. He was my co-worker at Fuquay High School, who started his own business while teaching in the tinting industry, tinting windows, tinting houses, and he encouraged me to start my own business. Little did I know that it would be within the pressure washing. He mentioned pressure washing. It kind of lined up. Silas talked to him. So from there, I just started. Well, how did I start? I did my own house. I did friends. I did neighbors. I did anybody and everybody that would let me pressure wash their house. A lot of them I did for free. Some of them I did for reviews. Some of them I just did for before and after pictures. There wasn't much money involved at first. It was just a boot camp, if you will, of me learning how to pressure wash. And luckily I have friends that were willing to volunteer their homes and to do this. Now, with that being said, I was on forums every night, like Facebook forums and YouTube, and I bought books and things like that because I started to dive into this realm of not just pressure washing but also business and learning more. Again, this was during COVID. I did not have a lot going on as far as teaching. I was a PE teacher, so there was not much you could do from the stay-at-home online PE teacher. It was really just a check-in, check-out, make sure we try to hold them accountable. But again, not a lot of time that I had to spend on my teaching effort. So this allowed me to start that pressure washing side. Anyway, from there, with the first few customers that I met, what stood out to me is they mentioned, oh, you showed up on time. Oh, you were early. Oh, thank you so much for communicating with me when you would be here. And these little things that I'm just like, this is just things that are supposed to happen. And people are thanking me for it. So the light bulb went off there to where the industry was really lacking customer service. So I said, okay, this is something I can do. I'm great with people. I believe in customer service, customer experience. I learned a lot of that from Enterprise Rent-A-Cars days. They're huge on customer service. They taught me a lot about that. But not only that, just the way I was brought up, with the small business owning family, you have to be excellent at customer service. It's just the only way you can survive. Really, that word of mouth is just everything. Having that great reputation is everything. Treating people the right way, genuinely treating people the right way at their best, with their best interest in mind, is just something I truly believe in. At the core of everybody trying to make it, well, you should do this, that. I was like, no, just be a good person, do the right thing. Pretend it's the way I look at it, pretend it's your mom or your grandma or someone you truly love every single time you go to their house. Treat them the exact same way. Well, they might not act like your mom or your grandmother the way they treat you, but at the same time, you have to treat them that way. You have to, treat each job that way. But again, so I honed in on the customer service. I made that my foundation. Like, I am going to make my business all about personal service. And from there, that's what I did. I grew it organically. Like, this was not a journey that I planned. This was not, hey, I'm gonna start this business and get out of teaching and that's my 2, 3, 5 year plan. No, I started it as something because I was bored, and it kind of just snowballed from there based off of customer service and doing the right thing. And the name started to get out there, and then I was like, oh man, this is actually sticking. People are calling me now. I'm not going through my phone book and calling friends and talking to neighbors. People are actually calling me. So I was like, oh, this is there's a fork in the road, right? Like, where do I go? So for a while there, I just taught and I coached. I also coached wrestling. Luckily, wrestling is during the winter season and it's during a downtime for pressure washing. But during teaching, I would I would be answering calls, while we were walking out to go to the track, or I would do all my follow up calls during my lunch break, and as soon as school was over, I would have my trailer with my pressure washing stuff in the back of my truck and head to 2 jobs. I mean, it was a crazy life, right? I was just business and teaching and family and coaching. And at some point, it was just going to come to a point to where things were just going to start falling apart. And nothing ever fell apart, but things got stressful. Like, I will not lie, things got stressful. Things got stressful with teaching. I wasn't doing my best job as a teacher. Things got stressful as, within the family because I wasn't there all the time. Things got stressful in the business because I was starting to drop the ball a little bit with that customer service side how I grew my name, how I grew my brand. So it was just, there came a time, and that time was in 2003 when I started back teaching, after that second full year. That summer before was so busy that I probably should have reflected and thought, I probably should not go back to teaching. But the school year came in 2003, and I started, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So it's a lot of talks with the family, and we also added holiday lights during that time, so we made it a year-round business. So I decided to step away in 2024 after that first semester to go all in on the business. I know that wasn't a brief description, but I can give you another just quick overview. Right now, we started with just me, pressure washer in the back of my truck from Home Depot, rolling it out of the truck bed every time, connecting the hose, just hustle mentality, not just being bullheaded, not taking no for an answer. People probably laughed at the thought of what I was doing, but I knew that there was probably, I was enjoying it. It was something, a little bit of side money. And then when it started sticking out, I knew that there was something there. I still remember when I didn't tell my wife that I was going to buy a trailer, and I bought the trailer. That was like the next step, from having the pressure washer in the back of my truck to actually putting it on a trailer and hooking it up. And I brought it home, and she was like, what the hell? You didn't discuss this with me. And I knew if I had discussed that with her, my personality is I'm like 100 miles an hour forward. Let's go. Her personality is a little bit, pause. Let's think about this. Should we actually do this? So I knew if I asked her, she'd probably say no. So went with the forgiveness. Ask forgiveness later theory or thought process, and we had that one discussion after that, and I kind of was like, hey, are you going to be on board with this? And she gave her blessing. And from there, I went from by myself to adding an employee that was in the neighborhood to now we have 3 trucks, 1 trailer, 7 employees, and a holiday light division that has an enclosed trailer. So our services as a pressure washer, of course, pressure washing, and that's how we started, but we've added window cleaning, both inside and out, gutter cleaning, and holiday lights. So we are a home service company that does many things other than just pressure washing. And the Christmas lights was just added on last year. We were very successful with that, and the reason we did that because I wanted to have not a seasonal business, but a year-round business, and that's what we have now. So I can keep good employees year-round. And like I said earlier, they're my family, so I want to make sure that they have jobs all the time. Again, I went on a little rant right there with kind of the personal story, and we'll get more into that as the podcast continues to go. I'll try not to keep it too long. What you should expect out of this podcast moving forward is just rants like you just heard, and me kind of going off topic, but like they'll be encouraging. It's all about helping someone along their journey, hoping they can relate a little bit as I talk about my journey, and maybe you can pick up some things and how you can relate them to your everyday life. I will incorporate health and fitness because that is a big part of my life. I've played sports all my life. I've enjoyed working out all my life, not just for the physical part, but for the mental aspect. So I will discuss a lot of, mindset and the mental aspect of life, just because I've struggled with that in the past. So I will discuss that. Anything that relates to me and is a pretty big topic that I can help with, and I hope you can relate with, is something that I'll bring up. So the entrepreneur side, the health side, the fitness side, the mental side, and also interviewing other local businesses, and that's going to be so much fun for me. I can't wait to meet other individuals that are on this journey in their own way and their own path, and just I think that I'll be able to gain so much knowledge from them, and I hope you will too. And I hope you can take this podcast, and honestly, if it's just one person that picks up this podcast and learns a little bit something and helps them on their journey, that'll be enough for me. But again, that's what you can expect, is just encouraging and the journey of an entrepreneur, the things and trials and tribulations that I go through, that someone else goes through, and all the aspects of life as they relate to that. So again, this is my first episode. I'm sure I'm gonna look back and it's gonna be cringeworthy, but I'm gonna get better. That's who I am. I'm gonna make sure that I deliver a great product, and the way I can do that is just going out and getting started. That's the only way to get better, right? You have to, put your foot off that ledge and just say, let's go. Let's make it happen. That's what I'm about. That's one reason I think I am, I don't like to boost myself up, but to be a little bit successful, I'm not scared to take a chance. I'm not scared to fall on my face. I honestly think that is when you learn the most, is when you fall on your face. I actually embrace it. Like when I fall on my face and I've screwed up, and I haven't done the best job, or maybe I just failed at something, period. That is the time I think you're going to learn the most about yourself, and you are going to take that time period at some point. Of course, it feels like crap, and you don't know, like, why me, that type of situation, or that type of thought process. But I believe that is the best time in your life, because that you were going to take that moment and be able to build off that. So that's my mindset. I don't think I clearly delivered all the messages that I want to deliver, but they will be coming. Episodes won't be this long. I kind of went on a rant a little bit here and there, but I do hope you enjoy. Again, the journey of an entrepreneur and everything in between. I'm Ryan Batts. Thanks for listening. See you later.